Donald Trump is suing Hillary Clinton, the DNC, and basically everybody else who's a part of the Democratic Party. We've already covered the actual filing of the complaint that covers all of these named defendants. This was filed back in late March 24th, 2022. And of course, if you're going to be a defendant in a lawsuit, you got to know that you're being sued. And one of the things that the plaintiff here, Donald Trump, had to do was go out and serve all of these people with a document saying, hey, there's a lawsuit filed against you. Just so you know, is there anything you want to do about this? Well, what's so fun about this, though, is some of these people kind of curious how the service of process proceeding went. Did somebody go to their house and say, hey, Marc Elias, you're a lawyer, you're where you're being sued? Here you are. You've been served. Did that happen? I don't know. Did they get his wife? Did they get somebody who was staying there? What went down here? And of course, as we know, the affidavits of service confirming the service of process was completed are all filed in public, which means we can go through them. Let's do it. We see here, according to the court docket, several people were served very recently, and we got confirmation that it has been completed. Let's take a look at some of these names. Marc Elias, right up here, 4/4/2022 is on the list. We've got Debbie Wasserman Schultz. You remember her. She's a congresswoman or person who is down in Florida. We know Marc Elias was the democracy docket guy. Talked a lot about him when he was fighting Donald Trump over the 2020 election litigation. We know that Robby Mook is here. He got served. We'll look at that one. We've got Igor Danchenko got served. This is a civil lawsuit. He's also being prosecuted for lying to the FBI in collusion with Steele dossier and everybody else who was responsible for concocting this scheme. We also see the DNC. This is not a person, but the entire Democratic National Committee, of course, being named here as a defendant being sued. We've got Charles Halliday Dolan Jr., who was a former or maybe current campaign advisor, somebody sort of in the senior level, upper echelon of the Clinton team. And then Andrew McCabe over at the FBI got served at his residence. And we're going to take a look at all of these people. But a quick reminder, who are they? Marc Elias, we know, he was part of Perkins Coie. Oh, Perkins Coie, campaign lawyer number one. We read a lot about this fella in the Durham investigation, prosecuting Michael Sussman for lying to the FBI. Perkins Coie was the same law firm that Sussman and Elias were working at. They were contracting with the Hillary Clinton campaign, who contracted back out with Fusion GPS, who went and concocted the fake Steele dossier. Here, he served as general counsel for Hillary Clinton in 2016 before he got involved in 2020. And he was a part of all this scheming back then. You see here, he was in 2020 and 2021, now working on behalf of Biden, the DNC. He was very instrumental in changing some of, in my opinion, some of the pre-election laws that were sort of changing the dates and changing the collection methodologies for how you can, gather ballots and things like that. We covered that at length on YouTube. Of the 64 cases, he won all but one, which was later overturned in his favor. So very successful. He sort of reminded me of the Karl Rove architect, they called it back during the Bush years. Kind of that guy, and the Republicans didn't have anything to match him with at the time. He founded Democracy Docket, a website focused on voting rights. He is a named defendant in the lawsuit, and he's sort of a big name. Did he get served? They come to his house and say, hey, Marc, boom, you've been served. Well, not really. You can see the affidavit filed here by this guy. Now, we're going to pay a lot of attention to this guy. It says here, FYI, Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton. You're a named defendant in this. You are being served here by Peter Tickton of the Tickton Law Firm. They say back in March 28th, they're going to go serve Marc Elias. They put his address here over in Virginia, but of course I blanked that out. The person, the process server who is actually delivering this is a guy by the name of Sean Gordon. And we're going to be spending a lot of time with Sean Gordon today because he was sort of on a service of process feeding frenzy. Don't know what his political affiliation is, or if he was a Republican or if he was having any fun with this, but he served a bunch of these Democrats just one after the other, going to their homes. Boom, you've been served. Boom, you've been served. Here you can see, 4th day of April is when this happened. He says, I do hereby affirm that on the 4th day of April, 2022 at 10:46 a.m., I executed service by delivering a true copy of the summons, which is the order, you got to come here, and the complaint for damages and demand for jury trial, along with a civil cover sheet, in accordance with the following terms. They went to his residence, and they were not able to get Marc Dang it, they got his wife. You see here by serving Brenly Elias as wife of Marc Elias. And sometimes that happens. And, you know, that might make for a little bit of a frustrated spouse if that happens. They think they're going to the front door to get their Amazon package. Oh, yay, it's here. It got here early. I love when that happens. And they go out, boom. You're not Marc Elias. Who are you? Well, I'm his wife. Perfect. You live here? You reside here? Perfect. You've been served. Please make sure Marc is aware of this. Complies with all of the requirements to effectuate service of process. Process server comes through. Says, yeah, about 50 to 55 years old, female, Caucasian, 5'9", about 170 to 200 pounds, blonde with glasses. No glasses. But then we can see it is now all going to be delivered. Speaking of an Amazon package, did you hear my doorbell ring? Hold on one second. I'll be back after this. And we're back. And it turns out an Amazon package did come early. I was not expecting that. And I do love when that happens. Isn't that great? Here it is. What a surprise. Amazon arrived early. Love it. All right. So the same thing. I'm glad that wasn't a process server, because if that was, I would have been very irritated about it. But you can imagine Marc Elias's wife probably went through something very similar to that and then recognized that process server. So she got served on behalf of Marc. They're going to have a, difficult conversation, I'm sure. Why am I getting served with your legal documents? I'm tired of this stuff, Marc. So we'll see what happens with them. We know that this also happened with Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and this woman has been around for a long time. She's currently a House of Representative member over there in Florida. She was a chairperson of the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, worked on Hillary's 2008 campaign, and has basically been sort of a bag carrier for Hillary Clinton for a long time. She favored Hillary over Bernie back in 2016 and was intimately involved in sort of the WikiLeaks stolen emails saga. Named in here and served. You can see what happens over here. We're back in Florida, so we're not going to hear from Sean Gordon. He's over there in the DC area. But this, we can see, got completed on April 4th. And who did they serve here? Oh, not Debbie. They got another spouse. Look at this. Delivered a true copy of the summons here to Steve Schultz, who is a co-resident / husband. So presumably that's a husband. Don't know, but who knows? We can see here that this person is proper service by statute. Age 57, male, white, 5'6", 150 pounds, bald, no glasses. So you can see Sandra is the person who completed that service over in Florida. And so now Debbie's going to have a difficult conversation with her husband. He's going to come in here and, sweetheart, I got served. I don't know what happens after that conversation. Robby Mook is the other person who got served, and he was the former campaign manager for Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign, a lot of videos of this gentleman floating around on the internet after the Hillary campaign lost on election night. He's sort of distraught there, sitting at a bus stop or something, looking out into the distance. But he's very upset about that loss, obviously. Mook worked on state campaigns. He was a campaign manager for Terry McAuliffe. So did that one work out well? Yeah, I think he got elected back then. Then in the wake of the 2016 election, he drew criticism for his strategy. Basically, you blew it, is what the feedback was. But fortunately for him, he did go to Columbia. So you can see he got served, and they got him specifically. This was also taking place back in Virginia. And the person I told you, Sean Gordon's on a roll here. Sean Gordon got this one done the 5th day of April, 3:20 p.m. So I think he got Elias the day before that. Got Sean Gordon a completed service, and he got him exactly. Says individual service served within the named person. So they walked right up. You're Robby Mook, aren't you? Yeah, perfect. You've been served. Confirmed it's him, age 40 to 50, male, Caucasian, 5'9", 170 to 200 pounds. Hair black, glasses, no. Served him directly. Next, we have Igor Danchenko. Danchenko is the Russian who was involved in the Steele dossier, colluded. Let's see. In July, Danchenko was revealed to have worked with Christopher Steele's Orbis Business Intelligence as a source for the Steele dossier. In November 2021, he was arrested and indicted for lying to the FBI. So he's got multiple legal issues that he's dealing with. 1, criminal prosecution. 2, Trump civil prosecution. You can see he also got served individually. They nailed him. And look who did it again. Sean Gordon. He's just going around to all of these different people involved in the Hillary scheme and just boom, served. That one was done a little bit earlier, back on March 30th. And so he's like day after day just going through. Got him specifically 45 to 50, male, 5'11", 180 to 200 pounds, black hair, no glasses. DNC also got served. We know this is not an individual. This is an organization formed 174 years ago. Here, they say that this is just a big, bureaucracy that supports other bureaucrats, and they've been around for a while. This is a little bit different. There's no person to go serve. There's no person named Democratic National Committee sitting at a desk somewhere. So they're going to serve their agent who's going to receive service on behalf of the corporation. You can see Kimberly Duffy is the person who's over the director of operations there, and she is the registered designated agent. Person named Paul Koch over there went and delivered service. So that one's done. We move on. We've got Charles Halliday Dolan Jr., who was a senior advisor to the Hillary Clinton campaign. You can see a little bit about him. He was appointed by Bill Clinton to be the vice chairman of the United States Commission of Public Diplomacy, which is very nice. Worked hard on the Hillary Clinton 2008 presidential campaign, worked on Clinton Gore campaigns, 92, 96. It's just weird how these people will just spend their whole lives working for a bureaucrat like Clinton. But all right, you can see this goes on, and he was served specifically. They got him directly. Charles Halliday Dolan Jr. Sean Gordon got him too. Sean Gordon is just sort of he might have got that one on the same day as somebody else. March 30th, maybe it was 31st was the other one. 2:44 p.m. serves them with the Trump lawsuit. Boom, Charles Halliday in particular, specifically got him. Male, Caucasian, 5'11", 220 to 250, gray, no glasses. Sean Gordon's on a roll. And then lastly, we have FBI liar. We've got Andrew McCabe. He's an American attorney, served as the deputy director. He was involved in all of this stuff. He was the acting director following James Comey's dismissal by President Trump. After leaving the Trump administration, where'd he go? CNN. He's been a contributor at CNN ever since. So nice home for him. You can see that's a nice fit. Let's see what happened with Andrew McCabe. And they got his wife, Barbara McCabe. They went over there to Broadlands, Virginia. And who did it again? Sean Gordon, MVP process server of America, serving all the Democrats in the DC area. You can see he got another one. That happened on April 5th, 2022, 2:06 p.m. Didn't get Andrew, got Barbara. Barbara happens to be about 130 to 170, kind of a broad range there. We got 40 to 50 years old, female, 5'9", black hair, no glasses. So Andrew McCabe also going to have a difficult conversation. We've got Marc Elias, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Andrew McCabe. They all thought they were free and clear of this Trump nonsense. They're like, oh, perfect. Our little scheme worked and we got away with it. And then Donald Trump comes out with this lawsuit and rips the masks off. And he's like, you thought you were going to get away with this, weren't you? If it wasn't for these meddling Trump lawyers. And here they are moving forward. We've got a lot more to go in this Trump lawsuit. We'll see where it goes. It's an interesting one. We'll have some fun with it. And I hope you join us as we continue to do so. I would love it if you subscribed and let me know what you thought about this. Drop the comment down below. Let me know if you like this case. You want to keep covering it? I think so. It's going to be fun. I think Trump's having fun with this one. So we can too. And I hope you join us. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.